Corey B. Smith here. Yeah, back on here again tonight. I'm gonna try to drop a little video every day, but just trying to answer emails that people be sending to me. And this particular email was, referencing to because I said something about credit investors last night, and somebody reached out to me. They actually sent me like 3 different emails asking me, did the whole credit investor thing still work? Was it real? And how do you get people and all of that? To answer your question, like I told you last night, yeah, credit investors are real. And you pretty much, if you're looking for a credit investor, you gotta look for somebody who's, sad to say this, they're not trying to do too much with their life beyond maybe working for somebody else. They really don't understand the power of credit.
This is Walgreens Security Services. This property is being monitored 24/7.
Yeah, I'm going to Walgreens.
Security Services.
But it's real. Like, one thing you gotta understand is this. Like, the main objective for any of us that's trying to utilize our credit is to get money from banks, right? So what you gotta understand about banks is they in the business of making money. They just like the credit bureau. If you're not getting any money from the bank, then essentially you not their customer. You are a product to them. Basically like you are to the credit bureau. You will always be a product to the credit bureau. But the main thing that you got to remember with the banks is that they're in the business of making money. And they make money off bad credit. The credit bureaus make money off bad credit. Like when I said this 10 years ago, and I said this on like a little news interview I was doing. The guy was like, why would the credit bureaus want you to have bad credit? Because they sell your information. Everything's about information. So when you have a low credit score, they can charge more for that information because you like looking for subprime loans and the credit cards that can charge you the high interest rates. So they're making more money off you when you got bad credit or average credit. Because if you got good credit, then hell, they can't charge you high interest rates. But that's one thing you have to remember when you thinking in terms of looking for a credit investor. And then when you get a credit investor, you have to know how to take control of them. And that's the reason why I mentioned last night, you got to make sure you have your paperwork together. The limited power of attorney, the joint venture agreement, the credit investor agreement. You got to have all that in place, and you got to have control over whoever the person you're using as a credit investor. And one of the most important things that you have to remember when you're trying to utilize a credit investor is an address. The address is one of the most important things that you have to remember, especially when you're talking about building a credit profile, because the credit bureaus, whether you believe it or not, they still discriminate. They redline it. That's why I pointed out in my book, Conspiracy of Credit, how they use demographic codes and census tracts and things like that. And they still doing it. So, I mean, it's all kinds of services out here. Now you can buy a high-end residential address. Same way you get a virtual business address, you can get a high-end residential address where they'll accept your personal mail. So when you get a credit investor, you want to think about all of that. You want to think about all of that. But I'm not gonna fail to mention, hey, get in this online event coming up November the 19th. because I'm gonna talk about all of this stuff, man. I'm gonna talk about all of this. I know a lot of people, have been like, man, you wasn't posting a lot and all that. Yeah, now I ain't really have a need to, but you want to get in this class on the 19th. If you you can email me at CoreySmith1793 at gmail.com to get the link to get in. I do honestly got a few seats left, but email me at CoreySmith1793 at gmail.com. Y'all gotta forgive me, man. I'm looking for some some alcohol. But yeah, as far as the whole credit investor thing, and that's huge because you can come up off of it. And for people who do know what's going on, they might have great credit, but they don't have certain assets to go along with it. Like I had one cousin, he owned a little duplex over in the old neighborhood we lived in. He owned like 3 of them in a row, but his credit was bad, but he outright owned the property. And then I had how we made the deal work with him. Our uncle had excellent credit. I mean, his credit score was like one was a 760, the other was a 780. So they kind of worked together. Basically, he signed the property over to our uncle and allowed him to use the asset to go get some bread. From the bank, and they basically broke bread on the property and put it in something. They kept it moving, but you want to think about stuff like that. So the credit investor thing is real. You just gotta remember, man. You're dealing with banks. You're dealing with credit bureaus. Unless you get money from the banks, then you're nothing more than a product. If you're just a person, you can't get no money from them, but you got a checking account. Then you ain't nothing but a product, because you ain't getting no bread from them. But if you're the type of person that you got a checking account and you got great credit and you're able to go to them and get some money, then that's a good thing. But I just wanted to answer that question tonight. But I want if you like I said, if you've been following me, man, I'm really back, and I'm gonna hit this credit thing in a whole different way this time. Like I'm gonna talk about some stuff I ain't never talked about, but you're gonna have to tap in. Like you need to be in this online event. November the 19th, 2023. You need to be tapped in. And like I said, I'm gonna give y'all some stuff I ain't never talked about. And guess what? You ain't gonna hear it nowhere else. Unless you hear it after I give it to you. Like it was before, when a lot of stuff when I first came out, you never heard it before. You never gonna hear this, because some of this stuff I just tried, like the whole thing with showing you how to make a tax lien disappear when they doing the title search. I guarantee you ain't gonna find nobody on the internet nowhere that can tell you how to do that. Yeah, but I hope that answered your question. Hey, get in this online event, November the 19th, 2023. You don't want to miss it. Cop my books. They on pre-order. Credit is for poor people. The Game of Credit, you want to get those too. But yeah. Peace, I'm out.